Right, so to start with, I'm going to take off the original blind, which as you can see here, and I've put the IKEA blind in place. You can see it just pulls down, and you can see there's a gap either side because it's not big enough. The next IKEA blind size up is 4mm too big for this hole, and they're a pain in the arse to cut down, to be perfectly honest. So we're going to go with this. All I've done is screw in a couple of L brackets up there. You can see I've screwed up into the frame a couple of L brackets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame around the outside. I'm going to frame the whole thing in and then cut a hole in the middle where the blind is. Right, I'll get back to you in a second when I've sorted some of that out, because as usual the van's a mess, there's no room, and I can't set a camera up and work at the same time. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, not sure if you can see, there's the board cut to size, and what I've done is I've marked in 6.5 inches each side. That's to go from the edge here to just slightly cover up this edge of the blind. I've measured down 3.5 inches, and I think 4 inches from the top, so it comes down and covers this cassette part of the blind, so you can just see the blind hanging. And at the bottom I've come up 2.5 inches, which should cover this surround, and then come up just a little bit to cover the bottom of this as I push it down. You'll see in a minute. The idea is this makes a smaller window on the inside that's the right size for that blind to block out the light. I'm just going to cut out this hole. I'm using the trusty bodged together, I wouldn't say homemade circular saw, but definitely home repaired circular saw, all come out the scrap apart from a little battery. Love that stuff. Basically all I'm doing is pulling the blade guard up, plunging the saw down into the middle here, running along, turning it round, running along the other way till I get to the end, and then I'll finish off the end cuts with my jigsaw. Then the middle bit will fall out, and I'll place it up against the window, and you'll see where I'm going. If you don't understand already, you'll hopefully get what I'm on at. And then I'll carpet it, and we'll see how it goes. I'll back to you in a sec, peeps. Right, hopefully you're beginning to sort of get the idea now. That framework goes round the window, makes the window smaller from inside, so that when you use the blind, it seals up against what you can see from the inside as opposed to what you can see from the outside. I mean, obviously it's swinging about at the moment, but I'm going to be packing the sides out. Let's lift it out and show you what I mean. I'm going to be packing either side of it with insulation, so you won't be able to see the daylight coming through the back of it. And this will be, the insulation will be tight against the inside of this, and this will be covered in carpet, so that when it goes back on you'll have a nicely framed window that sort of looks like it's meant to be. Right, there you go. I'm not the best upholsterer in the world, but it is covered in a bit of carpet. Got to trim the inside. If you pull the blind down, that looks a whole lot better. Obviously I've still got to screw up the surround, it's not screwed up yet. I've got to get some screw covers, got to finish trimming the carpet a little bit better. But there you go. I think that looks a lot better. I've got to get and put the insulation inside to block the windows off. As I say, it's not even screwed down. It's just, oh, there you go. It's definitely not screwed down now. Right, I'm gonna finish the trimming, dry up the bits of glue, fill in the bits beside it, and then get back to you, and you'll see the sort of finished article, because I've got to go and get some them little screw buttons that you pop over the caps of screws. I'll get back to you in a bit. Right, maybe that'll give you some idea of what's going to sit behind the board. You've got insulation there, you've got the bit of conduit without a cap on it there, so the blind runs in the cap, in the conduit rather, like that. And when the board sits on the floor because I've just dropped it. I'm way too clumsy for jobs like this. When the board sits over it, all you can see is the inside track. I'm going to paint it, I'm going to take it in tonight and give it a coat of black paint. And it sits behind like that. And I can't do this all in one go because I've only got two hands, unfortunately. I'll get it on my knee, and then you'll pull the blind down like that. And all you can see at the moment is that little white piece. Well, that won't be there because it'll be painted black. But you can see that's what's going to go behind the board and be sandwiched in. So this, I'll take this off and glue it to this. This is just held in, sandwiched in by the board going over the top. That slots up in there just to give it something to run in. I may warm it up and give it a bit of a bend because it's been sitting in the back of the van for a long time. It's been bent, so I think I'll stick it on top of my radiator tonight and give it a slight straighten, because there's no way I can screw it into this. It just won't work. Anyway, there we are, getting on a bit. I'm going to cut some PIR board for that other side, fit the other runner, which I've got ready cut here. As you can see, it's got a bit of a curve to it, so straighten that out of the radiator tonight so it sticks to the PIR, and that should hopefully in the winter keep a bit more warmth in. Right, I'm going to get back to you in a bit because I'm going to have to put the camera down because I need both hands and both brains. Ta-da! Right, okay, these are those channels. As you can see, that's where the cap clips on, that little groove there. They're just trunking for electrical conduit. Anyway, I'll give them a quick blast of paint. Some grey plastic primer, followed by some satin black. And we're going to put these in the van now. So, come with me. Well, not come with me, I'll meet you in the van. Ta-da! Right, so there it is in place. What I've done is, I've stuck some gaffer tape, or some Gorilla Tape, because it's about the stickiest tape you can find. I've stuck a couple of wraps just around, just to hold the insulation together, and then I've run a facing piece of Gorilla Tape up the inside, because this stuff sticks like shit to a blanket. Literally, it sticks to anything. I've actually, in my last garage, I stuck a piece of tarp to the side of a brick wall, and 18 months later, when I pulled the Gorilla Tape off, it pulled the surface layer of brick off and paint with it. This stuff sticks like anything, and I've done that because on the back of the trunking there's some sticky pad. It's really good sticky pad. It will stick to a lot of things, but I wasn't sure whether it would stick to the inside of this foam core, which is this squeaky cheese stuff. So I knew the Gorilla Tape would stick to it because I've stuck it up with it before, and now I've got a better substrate for this to try and stick to. That's what I've done this side. So I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to stick this up. I may put it down so you can sort of see what I'm up to. Typically I haven't got my tripod with me, but maybe you can sort of roughly see what I'm doing. I'm going to peel the, I'm working upside down back to front here, so I'm going to peel this off the backing. And I shall slide it up inside the gap. And I'll stick it in the wrong place and then pull it off and have another go. That wasn't intentional. You want to get it straight as best you can. That's now stuck. As you can see, that's now stuck in place, and when you pull that down, in fact I've pulled it crooked because I haven't got the handle on the bottom. There you can see it sits inside that track, all nice and neat. Well, neat-ish. All this is going to be hidden, all these gaps are going to be hidden by that trim plate. In fact, why not put the trim plate over? Right, I'm about as far back as I can get. I've finished it. There's the finished article. Let's show you it in action. she goes. How does that look? That looks pretty blackout to me, doesn't look too bad. I'm going to put a little bit of string on that, I think, so when I pull it down, it lips over there, so I haven't got to fish about to pull it back up again. Gets a little bit stiff at the bottom end of the run because it slightly twists. Let's show you. It's slightly, the runners at the side, they're slightly kinked. I've got kinky runners. You can hear it rubbing. You can see it starting to rub the paint off. So this didn't work straightening them out. You can see it's rubbing the paint off there. What I might do is put a bit of black tape or get some of that Teflon runner tape, repaint them, put some Teflon tape over so it slides. They're just ever so slightly kinked. Actually, probably could do with just being packed out a bit, be a bit better. But for, I think this cost me £20. I'm certainly not going to grumble. I'm a bit close there, I know. For 20 quid, I'm not going to grumble at that. I think that's quite good. I can only get these in white and B&Qs. I've got a pack of 500, so it looks like I'm going to be colouring them in with a colouring in pen. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. For me, that's probably the top job I've done in the ambulance. Although with carpet you do get the cover over the bodges. But there actually aren't any bodges in that. That all looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. What do you lot think? Any of the 10 people that watch my videos, one of you, just give me some feedback. Looks crap, looks okay, B+, C+, whatever, I don't care. Just let me know. Ta peeps.